Hello, hello, my darlings. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are fired up as I am today because there has been a lot of nonsense going on in the media, and we need to address it because it is really, well, let me say, I need to. If someone is always pissing in my cornflakes, I feel like pissing in someone else's cornflakes today. And these media outlets have really got my piss boiling today. Okay. I am sick and tired of these headlines that the media games and these media games that these so-called quote unquote journalists are playing. All these journalists were claiming you should let Harry back into the family with open arms. William, you're such a villain for not letting back the same jackass who allowed your brother and his raggedy wife to cause you so much heartache, so much damage, so much. I mean, where does one begin even? Where does one even begin? I'm only a minute, like 2 minutes in. And if I just start firing off now, then I need to be careful. You guys, I hope you all are doing well. It's been kind of crazy the last couple days, and we got to discuss just these ridiculous headlines that we are seeing that apparently we're just supposed to forget everything that Harry and his raggedy trollop of a wife, Meghan, have done for the last, some people say 5 years. Some people are saying 5 years because, oh, that's when Harry and Meghan left the royal family. But no, I'm going to take it further back. I'm going to take it back to the moment that Meghan got Harry to announce to the world that he's dating a Soho House escort. Then she put her plan into action that she will always be in the news and she will take advantage of everything. This raggedy trollop had security from the moment it was outed that she was with Prince Harry. You show me another royal or individual who received the type of security or benefits that Meghan was quickly afforded when no one else was. Yeah, I'm going to take it all the way back. I'm going to take it right back to when Harry released that stupid, absolutely ridiculous message saying that my girlfriend Meghan Markle is being harassed by the media and there's racist tropes being thrown out about her. No, there wasn't. Nobody even knew you were sliding it into this cheap trollop in those days anyways. Nobody cared. But she was always dropping hints on her Instagram account. Those bananas that were spooning, right? She would post about peonies. The only thing is that Harry, I mean, he was too busy getting his wiener wet by a well-experienced lady of the night. But had he taken a moment to pull his wiener out of that cavernous hole that Meghan Markle had allowed many people access to, then maybe he would have seen that he was being played for a fool. Yes, the H&M necklace. I mean, let's be honest. What woman nearly 40 goes around wearing initial necklaces, unless it's like the initials of your children, right? Or like your husband and some, not like, oh, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Look, I'm wearing his initials around my neck. No, you do this when you're like 15, 16 with the first love or your first boyfriend, when you're all like giddy, like a little kid. But Meghan has always been stuck in that mindset for sure. She always has. And this is where I am not going to let this new narrative of allowing Harry back into the royal family to fly. It's not going to happen. Not at all. Not for a second. Because let me remind you, I will never forgive what Meghan and Harry did while the Queen was mourning her husband. Okay, they went on Oprah, told the most vile lies, the most foul and vile lies you could ever think. And yet, you're just allowing the snake back into the family? I hope it was worth it for Harry and Meghan to do this. But let me show you a couple other things and we will we'll really get into it because I'll show you the headlines, why I'm so heated like this. But let me just remind you this also. Let me remind you what this fool had to say, how he sold out his own family for a cheap ex-cable TV mattress actress who's best known for giving blowjobs on 90210 and being number 6 on the call sheet and taking her clothes off and opening up briefcases. But yet this Soho House lonely girl who would spend her weeks on end with different individuals in the many rooms of the Soho House locations. Harry thought he was marrying an Einstein when really he was marrying, what shall we say? Well, maybe I should keep that to myself. Watch this though.
How do you explain that you bow to your grandma and that you will need to curtsy, especially to an American? Like, that's weird.
Now I'm starting to realize this is a big deal. I mean, Americans will understand this. We have medieval times, dinner and tournament.
She thinks she's so funny. Like, we have medieval times, dinner and tournament. You are literally connecting the royal family to a fucking $125 dinner and show special that you can attend. Are you serious? This woman is so dumb. Like I said, Harry's dumb too. They're made for each other.
It was like that. Like, I curtsied as though I was like,
Harry, you idiot. Harry, you idiot. I can't believe you allowed this level of disrespect to go on. But then again, that's a wig. Yes, it definitely is a wig. I'm surprised that didn't fall off, but you can see that it's totally a wig. But let me get...
Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
I mean, you would have to be a moron to allow Harry back into the family after he has spent the years trashing his own family in the name of a Soho House escort, of a raggedy trollop. Why? Like, I don't get it. But let me show you some of the headlines that are running that I know these are just media games. I know that the media wants this because this is how they get their clicks, but the media assault on Prince William is in full swing. So Charlotte Griffiths, who is on the WhatsApp group of Harry and Meghan and is very team Meghan and Harry, mentions, if you mention him, he'll throw you out of the room. Why William is more determined than ever to cut Harry out of his life, as Charlotte Griffiths reveals how he's been driven to rage by his brother's brazen return plan. If I was William, I wouldn't want his brother around anyways, with all the pain that he's caused my wife, right? With everything that he's done to Catherine, with everything that he's done and said about his own children. Remember, Harry publicly went out and made comments about how he wants to be the one to teach William's children, Charlotte and Louis, things so that they wouldn't turn into the spare that he has turned into. No, Harry, maybe you should worry about yourself. Leave William's children out of this. And this is what William doesn't like, is that William has always been the type to not let the press in, where we can see at every turn, despite Harry and Meghan claiming it's always the royal family feeding and planting stories. They were always it's actually Harry and Meghan who do it. Just like these headlines here. Let me continue on with the next headline. Look, Camilla Toomey, you'd have to have a heart of stone to not want Harry welcome back. What? Excuse me? Are you, did she drop and like fall and hit her head somewhere? I want to know, because later on in another tweet of hers, she is literally asking people if they are on crack. Not very professional now, is it? But I do want to ask Camilla Toomey if she expects people to forgive Harry. Now, did she forgive that wench that was bullying her when she was at Wimbledon? Remember Judy de Richmond? She sat behind Camilla Toomey, and Camilla made a whole story about it. She made a whole podcast about it. She made special appearances on other people's show to talk about this, that she was bullied by the Sussex squatty. Did you unblock her and let her in, or do you have a heart of stone too, Camilla? That's what I want to know. Is she being sarcastic? I don't know if she's being sarcastic, but I'm just saying. I love pulling an Uno reverse card. I love pulling an Uno reverse card. I love pulling an Uno reverse. An Uno reverse is my thing. But let me continue on here. So yes, these are the types of headlines that we are dealing with at the moment, but it is a legit question, darling. Let me continue on here saying this is the next one. Liz Jones. Harry is doing everything right, and I am overjoyed at his long-awaited reunion with Charles. Now, mean William needs to get off his high horse. Well, get this, okay? Because Liz Jones, do you guys know the story behind Liz Jones? Because you guys know that I love to dig deep about these people, just like Tessa there, who says that Harry should be welcome back also. Liz Jones is a bit of a nutter herself. Liz Jones allegedly, now I have to say allegedly, despite it's all been proven true and everything, Liz Jones had harassed a man to the point where she basically tricked him into marrying her, and she used something about a turkey baster to like impregnate herself. And then this woman is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay, she is absolutely nuts. If you read into her history and what she has done to land a man, you will see that she is completely off her rocker. All right, now moving on to this one. Amanda Platel. William and Kate have become the prince and princess of boring. This is why they need to stop sulking and take a leaf out of Harry's book or risk Charles's wrath. Now, I should remind you guys all, first of all of these things that are coming from the Daily Mail, Daily Express, whatever, Mail on Sunday, just remember that Charles's current head of communications for Charles and Camilla is Tobin Andre. I've told you about this guy before. I'm sure that the Royal Grift has talked about this man before. And this guy has had over 25 years experience in the tabloid industry. Everything, I think he started from Tatler and worked his way up from there. But Tobin was a former co-deputy editor of the Daily Mail, and prior to that, Mail on Sunday. He was in charge of, when he was editor, when all of the weighty Katie headlines were running around. Just pulled up, so to speak, with the turkey basting. I'm sorry, Kids Irrelevant, that you came into this. I'm sorry, but I just want you to know that all roads lead back to one place, okay? All of this comes back, this is just a media war against William. And at the end of the day, I truly do feel for William, because think about it. William has been through so much in his life, and nobody ever thinks about that. They're always talking about, oh, Harry was the 12-year-old boy who walked behind his mother's coffin. Well, you guys don't think that a 15-year-old boy would understand more and know more about his parents' relationships than his 12-year-old brother, who was too busy running around playing games and acting like a brat? Nobody seems to mention or think about what William might be going through or his mental health. Remember, think about the fact that William was the one who watched his dysfunctional parents argue all the time and place their own agendas above his mental health. He has a brother now who has dragged him through the mud in interviews, documentaries. His raggedy wife has been lying about Catherine, has been constantly feeding people and creatures like Omid Scobie news about them. And then William has to deal with his wife's cancer. He has to deal with his father being diagnosed with cancer. And not only that, William has to deal with all these horrific rumors that are going around while his wife is dealing with not only getting better from her abdominal surgery, but also having to deal with a cancer diagnosis and having 3 young children. People don't take William into mind here. They don't think that, oh, William has a lot of trauma also. You think that the trauma of walking behind his mother's coffin didn't hurt him? Especially since he was older and Diana told William things that he shouldn't have been privy to. Diana treated William like her own personal therapist when she should have gotten a therapist. I mean, and then the fact that the media is painting out William like, oh, you should forgive Harry. I would never, ever forgive Harry. Absolutely treacherous. But also, I got to shout out the royal, the Freedom Prince, the British prince who showed us, look, Harry has always been courting the media and the press. He has always been cozy with the media and the press. Katie, all of the links that I'm showing are on my Twitter page. I don't think I shared them all in the pinned comments below. So my apologies. So let me just show you what the British prince posted, but then I isolated a specific post, a specific area of his post here. But let's watch the whole thing through and then I'll speak more on it.
So she was very aware that she didn't have an academic son.
He was kept back a year before he actually went up to Eton to try and speed up his education at prep school.
William is...
So did you guys hear that? Harry wasn't even supposed to go to Eton because he was so dumb. Harry wasn't even like accepted in Eton. Let me continue on. Sorry, guys.
So she was very aware that she didn't have an academic son.
He was kept back a year before he actually went up to Eton to try.
Yeah, he was kept back a year because he's a dumbass. Harry has always been a dumbass who's been coddled, and that's why he's walking around with an ego. He's still being coddled by Charles. Harry, you shouldn't have been at Eton in the first place. And also, which makes you wonder, how the hell did he get into Sandhurst too? So dumb. Of course, they pulled some strings because he's Harry.
Speed up his education at prep school.
William is more sensitive. William considers things before he does them. I mean, Harry will do something on the spur of the moment and think about the consequences later.
Doesn't that tell you everything right there? That Harry doesn't think things through, just like Meghan. Remember when Harry and Meghan first got married, there were stories coming out claiming that Meghan and Harry would just bring up these stupid ideas to courtiers, expecting it to like be thrown into action and not worry about whatever or the details later or how it's going to affect anyone. They always came up with these harebrained ideas, expecting the courtiers to go with it, but staff to like implement them. But yet they would never think about how this would cause a ripple effect or there be a cause and effect to the way that they are behaving.
Much more open and accessible than William. If we want to deal with William, we have to go through intermediaries. With Harry, you can say, oh, look, Harry, could you just do this? And he goes,
look, from an even early age, my apologies for stopping this many times. From an early age, William had people that you couldn't have straight access to him, and he thought things through. Whereas with Harry, this is why the media wants Harry to come back. This is why they want the royal family to welcome Harry back in with open arms, because Harry is an idiot and is like a light fuse. He's like a bomb. You can light him, he'll go off, and then, oh, worry about what happens later. Worry about the damage later. Whereas William does not do that. And that is very in line with how Queen Elizabeth would move also.
To go through intermediaries. With Harry, you can say, oh, look, Harry, could you just do this? And he'll go, oh, all right then, or I'll think about it. Or you can deal directly with Harry. And sometimes I've noticed at the polo, when the game's finished and we're all filing stories, Harry will come over and sit down on the grass beside you and watch everybody filing. And whereas William is very private.
So even from a young age, Harry would go and hang out with the media, would go and sit down and be interested in what they were doing, but not William, because William has always known, and he saw with what his parents were going through, that you don't let the media in. You don't deal with the press and the media.
Very wary of the media.
There is very little to separate William and Harry except this one. The one distinction between them is William's ability to keep his life private and out of the headlines. He learned that from an early age, I think because he was that much older when his parents were going through their terrible times in the 1990s. He resolved not to allow his life to become tabloid fodder, if you like.
So Richard Kay, imagine how Diana would feel knowing that Richard Kay, who likes to call himself Diana's friend, right, is currently trashing Prince William, her son, because William learned early on to keep the media out, to keep them away. They are vultures. They will pick at your bones. They don't care about you, which is very telling in this isolated clip, which Richard Kay has mentioned. Let me play it for you again.
There is very little to separate William and Harry except this one. The one distinction between them is William's ability to keep his life private and out of the headlines. He learned that from an early age, I think because he was that much older when his parents were going through their terrible times in the 1990s. He resolved not to allow his life to become tabloid fodder, if you like.
Yeah, William learned early on, whereas Harry is an idiot. Now, Richard Kay, let me show you here. This is Richard Kay opening the door for Diana. Richard is mad. He is mad because William isn't cozy with him in the likes that Diana was. That's what he's upset about. These media individuals are pissed off that they can't get into William's life, that they are not getting private details about William's life. That's what they are upset about. That's their problem. And I even said it here. The problem the British press has with Prince William is that they want to turn his private life into tabloid fodder like they have with Charles and Harry. William doesn't want that. What I want to know here is why the British press doesn't ask the real question, which is this right here. Which is this. How does not one but two surrogate-born children end up within the line of succession? Who are Prince Archie of, now they're calling him Prince Archie of Sussex, and Princess Lily of Sussex, when in their birth certificates, it's Archie Mountbatten Windsor. It's Lilibet Mountbatten Windsor. I want to see court records, court documents, because you can't just change your last name on a whim. You can't just be like, oh, well, tomorrow my last name's going to be, I don't know, Molly Rothschild or Molly, I don't know. Let's name another rich family that's like corrupt and everything. You can't do that. You need to go through filling out papers. You need to get a judge to sign off on name changes, especially last name changes. Why isn't the British media asking this instead of putting pressure on William? Like, you need to allow Harry back in the family. No, they don't. They ain't got to do anything. I'm sorry, guys. I've gone completely like... thank God, Maureen, thank God William was born first. That's what I'll always say. Thank God that William had those afternoons with the Queen after Diana passed away, because that probably shaped him the most. Thank God that he found Catherine and the Middletons, who have helped keep him grounded and show him what a real family is like. There's no backstabbing, there's no media games, there's just love, genuine love and support. And you can see that with how William is raising his kids. You can see that when William is asked a question like the one about Louis the other day when they were out having cookies, right? Let me pull up that clip for you guys. And it almost felt like the individual who was asking William about if Louis is a cheeky little boy was trying to bait him into making a comment about his own son. But the way William talks about his own children, you can tell he's a caring father. He is someone who really cares about his children. Whereas Harry's all about himself. Harry doesn't give a shit about anyone else except for Harry. Okay, that's it. Let me see if I can find these posts from their cookies and cake event the other day during the Queen's 3-year anniversary. I apologize, you guys, that I am just going off like this, but it just makes me so angry to see these media outlets say that William needs to be the bigger person. No, he doesn't. He's being the bigger person by protecting his family. That's what he's doing. And y'all just a bunch of ding-dongs to think that he is going to allow him in. Let me just be petty here for a second, because Sean Spooner shared a photo of Prince William when he was getting off the train at Cardiff when he went to his engagement. And look, you notice Prince William, who is the next king, doesn't need 6 cars trailing him and 20 bodyguards. Look at this. Look at this here. Just one in front right there. King energy right there. Look at it. Oh, so delicious. 6'3", fine, tan, bearded. Yum, yum, Willie, yum. He doesn't care. He's just walking out and about. No cares, talking to people, hanging out. But no, Harry acts like, oh, I need security. And my escort wife who used to suck dicks on a yacht for a living needs security. Nope, not King William here. Look at this. Look at this. Ay, Chihuahua, you are so muy bueno. Yum, yum, yum. Qui magnifique. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Muy bueno. See, I just start, I get so flustered around William. I just start speaking all different kinds of languages. I go from French to Spanish to who knows what. Oh dear. I know that there are some people saying that, like, and I've said it before, that like, oh, I wouldn't care if William said like, hey, I'm taking a break from royal duties, like deuces for a few months. Like, I'm just going and breathe. I know I should breathe. But I feel like that's what Harry and Meghan would want, because we all know that Meghan wants to be the Princess of Wales, right? She's psychotic. She's absolutely crazy. We know that already. But Harry has picked up all her mannerisms. How can you say that Harry, the funny thing is that Harry, even just as recent at his stupid engagement at Wellchild, went and made a dig at William. And you're telling me this idiot who is still making digs should still be welcomed into the family? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not one bit. Let me show you this clip here, because I feel like this is important and I need to catch my breath and cool off, because gosh, every time I see William in a nice, unwrinkled, perfectly fitted tailor suit, it just gets my tank going and whoop, whoop. I need a moment here.
After they did meet this week, do you think it might be eased by the King and Queen Camilla being the peacemakers between the brothers, now that Diana is not here? And if he is very well qualified diplomatically to do it.
All right, let's go to Krista. He's a bit of a royalist.
I love the royal family, but I think that Harry and Meghan, whom I once loved, are just loathsome, insufferable. I think that they have, I'm sorry, they are, that they have done everything that they could to try and sling grenades at the family and monetize their misery by slagging off their family, whom at the time, let's not forget, the late Queen Elizabeth, Prince Philip were literally, seriously ill, yet they were throwing accusations of racism, writing books knowing that they wouldn't respond, trying to make as much money as they could out of all of this so that they could sell their tat and become cheap reality stars, which is now what they are. So I'm sorry, I think that if it were down to me, fine, you can come back into the family, but you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement and you have to lock the Netflix crew behind the gates because they're not allowed to come in.
Don't mince your words.
I love Christos. Christos is amazing. I love watching this GB News panel here. If you guys don't have the link, let me share the link with you all here in the chat. Look, we all knew Harry having this very publicly appearing meeting with Charles, that Harry and Meghan's vicious PR, which are like Rottweilers, are going to be milking this for everything they can. I feel bad for William. I feel bad that he has to endure this all the time. I feel like he's been enduring crap his entire life and nobody takes into account how he may feel. But not me. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to mention all the facts and I'm going to show you how Harry's been a treacherous little weasel ever since Meghan sunk her claws into him, not just 5 years ago. This didn't just begin 5 years ago. This started from way back in 2017. Let's remind you guys, I just had to pull up this photo of William in uniform because Penny did mention William in uniform and he's just so delicious. My apologies. I just want to remind you guys, first of all, Aspie, thank you, my darling, so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, my darling. Go Molly. Let me remind you guys real quick. All of this bullshit started way in the beginning. Let me remind you guys. Let me see if I don't have it pulled up here. Damn it. Let me find it real quick. So you guys remember way back in 2017, way back, cast your minds. I'm trying to pull up the article here. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Here we go. February 2017. Blind Gossip was given a little piece of tidbit information. Let me just copy this over. Stop sharing. Let me show you. This started from way back in 2017. My memory, I've told you guys, my memory is long, okay? My memory, I remember things. Katie, here is the link for the article. There you go. So there was a blind gossip put out back in 2017 that here is a scenario to consider. And this was put out by Lainey Gossip. Lainey, who is friends Lainey Lou. Let me show you guys. Hold on. Let me just show you guys real quick here because all the dots connect. All the dots connect. Hold on. Let me pull it up so I can show you guys before I read to you this blind gossip that was put out by Lainey Lou. So who is Lainey Lou, you're asking me? Lainey Lou was a gossip columnist who runs Blind Gossip and some other bullshit. Anyways, I don't really care to give her any real much credibility, but she was good friends with Jessica Mulrooney. And look who's here, Meghan Markle and Corey Vitiello. Look at this. But Lainey Lou has a gossip column, okay? So back in the day when they started, when Meghan got entered into the royal family back in 2017, when she first met Catherine, don't forget, this harassment of Catherine started way back from the very beginning. Here we go. Here's a scenario to consider. Let's say you're dating a guy and you're super into each other and you've been staying with him and he's really serious about you. The most serious he's ever been with anyone. He lives in the same complex with someone he's very close to, and the person he's close to has a partner too. You and she don't know each other well. But since you are staying there, you run into each other one day and you tell her you're going shopping and where. She says she's going shopping too and leaves in the car. You head out on foot. Turns out she went shopping exactly where you went shopping, and she knew that's where you were going, but didn't offer you a ride. Is that weird? Maybe it's not weird, but considering who they are, it is super gossipy. So yeah, this was about Meghan Markle and Catherine. It was basically Catherine was Meghan. What had happened, and if you guys don't remember the story, is that Meghan found out that Catherine was going shopping, of course, like they spoke. And what Meghan did is that she called the paparazzi. This was leaked back to Catherine's camp that Meghan, because one of the paparazzi that Meghan had contacted called someone in Catherine's camp asking what time Catherine would be there to go shopping. That's how it got foiled. Okay, that's what happened. So Catherine didn't take Meghan in her car, and that's what Meghan has had it out for Catherine. She thought that she would get a picture of her and Catherine strolling down High Street, holding hands and shopping together. That's what Meghan wanted. Meghan has this weird obsession of holding hands with other grown women like they are children. And that's why ever since Catherine didn't allow Meghan to go shopping with her, because she knew that Meghan had ratted her out and was setting up a photo opportunity, Meghan has had it out for Catherine since then. And William and Catherine have seen this from day start, since day one. But yes, I think I've ranted off enough, haven't I? I think I've ranted. I need to cool down my jets. Hold on a second. We need this. Chihuahua. You know what I like? You know what's totally funny is that when William gets the little tufts on top from the wind in his hair. I think it's absolutely cute. But you know what I love the most? That the watch his mother gave him will always be on his wrist. He's had many chances to upgrade that watch, do whatever, but he always wears the watch that his mother gifted him. But anyways, darlings, let me see what you guys are saying here in the community. I see that my dear friend, an old geezer, has gifted one MeghansMole membership to a lucky individual. If you receive, thank you. First of all, let me give the claps. Thank you, an old geezer. Thank you, my dear friend. I appreciate you. You are so kind and generous. Thank you. If you received a membership from an old geezer, make sure you say thank you to them. Not Perfect, Just British says, who in their right mind would want to go shopping and have anything to do with Meghan Markle? No. Nobody. Obviously, Marcus Anderson would, because Marcus Anderson would probably get his willy sucked off in the changing room. I'm just saying. Maureen says, Molly, I could listen to you for days. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. You know, anytime I get comments from you guys saying that you guys love my vocabulary or you could listen to me for days, it really warms my heart and makes me feel good inside, because I always wonder about like my English and if it's not on, like, I meddle my words. Sometimes I don't get the right things, but when I know that you guys are being entertained by it, I'm like, oh, all the feels inside, all the feels. Gray Voice says, William, even though he's being assaulted by Clawzilla and that Muppet, continues to be cool as a cucumber. Yeah, because he knows he's going to be king. He knows all of these antics. He knows the games the media plays. He knows all of that. So he's wise. He isn't stunted like how his brother and Meghan are. They just keep their heads down and continue on and what they're doing and don't care about anyone else. And that's great. Imagine if Mole was a Netflix sensation. Could you imagine? It would be wild if I was. I could do some commentary, I think. Oh, many people are talking about the UK shouting about the UK had their Freedom March, and that was, you guys, I was watching the Freedom March on my TV there. And it was so heartwarming what I was seeing, just seeing how people are just, you know, people are sick and tired of what's going on. They want to be able to have their freedom of speech. They don't want to be told that they need to be tolerant to other people while having their rights taken away. At the end of the day, the people my heart goes out to is Charlie Kirk's children and his wife, right? Those two children, there are conflicting stories that I'm hearing about it, how the children were there or weren't there. I hope to God that they weren't there to witness that. But yeah, I feel like the world is at a turning point. There's only so much you can make people be woke and stuff that people will not tolerate anymore. And I feel like that is happening now. There's a reason why there's a reason why Harry and Meghan have yet to say anything about the murder of Charlie Kirk, is because Harry and Meghan are all for taking away your First Amendment rights, taking away your freedom of speech, taking away your rights to having your voice heard. Remember, Meghan was always like, you deserve to have your voice heard. We all should have our voice heard. That was her thing for a while. Everyone deserves to have her voice heard. Now she's trying to silence everyone, but keeping her pathetic voice that nobody wants to hear anyways, and keep all of her ideations going. She is the type of person that is probably celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. I wouldn't be surprised if Harry and Meghan popped champagne and privately celebrated that what had happened to him, because they are the type that are pushing for our freedom of speech to be taken away. They are pushing for our speech to be silenced on media. Anyways, my darlings, the media says it was just 100K. No, there was more than 100,000 people there. Okay, there was tons of people there. Tons. All right, my darlings. Let me say this one thing before I get off of here. I just wanted to mention to you guys that there has been a glitch in Meghan Markle's Ask Ever website. Now, I want to let you guys know this, because not only don't go on her website, but also the glitch is because it's giving you a special, she's giving out some kind of credit, okay? It's a discount code. And the discount code, which I'm going to come back to, is Adiola, okay? I'll come back to why she picked out that discount code in a second. But Meghan Markle's website, and shout out to those at the Saint Meghan Markle Reddit community who found this out. Apparently, there's a glitch in her website where you can start getting her products for free or basically at zero cost. Like, it is, it shows here that someone was ordering flower sprinkles. You put in the discount code and it's coming out as zero. But let me tell you this. Do not go on there, because despite her giving away her crap for free, this is a way for Meghan to collect your data and to sell it to third-party data aggregators. That makes a lot of money for her. So for her to give some shitty products away for free tells you that, number one, it's shit in the first place. And number two, she's making more money selling your information, your addresses, your email, your credit card information to third parties. Now, getting back to the code name that she decided to use. Adiola is a gender-neutral Nigerian Yoruba name. Well, it's a Yoruba name from Nigeria, meaning crown of honor, royal wealth, or the crown that brings honor. It combines the word aid, which means crown and royalty, with ola, which means royalty and wealth. So Meghan is still cosplaying royalty. This is her way of saying, look, I'm still a royal. I am still a royal member. But I'm just letting you know. Private notes, that's very sweet of you. You didn't need to do that, my darling. I hope you are on the mend and you get well soon, my dear. We are all sending you our love and support and prayers for you to get better and to be on the mend soon. That was very sweet of you. But look, guys, I just wanted to mention this to you guys. Don't fall for any of these traps. Don't fall for any of this bullshit, okay? Harry should never be welcomed back into the royal family. Many people here in the US, what I'm hearing through gossip and stuff is that Harry is pushing for reconciliation because he knows that Charles doesn't have long to live. So he wants to try and get his money's worth kind of thing before he passes away. But I hope that Charles is smarter than that. But I guess only time will tell, won't it? How do you allow a guy back into your family that literally told the whole world that he wanted to take you out on a fighter jet? It's just crazy. But anyways, my darlings, I need to get out of here. My apologies. I ran this a little bit too long. I need to get on work. I need to make a video for you guys. It's been like 12 days since I uploaded a short form video, and I think I have something good and short to get to you guys. So I need to do that. I hope you all are having a great day. Thank you, everyone who sent a super chat, a super sticker. I appreciate it. You guys know you don't have to do that. If you guys hit the like button or subscribe, that's all that I really want. Super chats and super stickers are just a bonus for me, but I do appreciate it. And well, the bonuses go towards Monster and his treats and his toys. Anyways, my darling, Gray Voice says, I truly believe the king is more ill than the public knows. I think he's a lot ill too, more than what we are being led on to know, but it's not our business, right? Anyways, my darlings, I love you all very much. Thank you so much for always sticking by me. Thank you so much for being such an awesome community. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, even the ones who are watching us on the replay. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me. Mind the desk. Yeah, trust me, I've been standing the last couple times I've been doing these lives. That's why I haven't been knocking the desk, which is a good thing. Okay. All right, my darlings, lots of love to you all, and I will catch you all later. Love you all. Toodaloo. Bye.